Hello fellow Scratchers, and have I got another epic Scratch tutorial for you today. You requested it and here it is, Health Bars. Featured in practically all of our favourite games, health bars are perfect for conveying health and damage, giving the player a sense of how they are doing and where to concentrate their focus to win a battle. Our game Lemonoids is a great case in point. These large lemons take a lot of damage, but you can't tell how much or little health they have. Until, that is, they explode. So the aim of this tutorial will be to create a reusable, backpackable sprite that can be dropped into any Scratch project to let us quickly add health bars to any given sprite or clone. Oh yeah, challenge accepted. Let's get scratching. To help us develop our health bars, let's start a new project and throw together the most basic of games. Scratchy, you have a role to play. You will stay. We'll just rename you as Cat. I want 3 cat clones to wander around the stage. So, when flag clicked, we hide. Yes, this is one of those clone factories I've talked about before, where the original sprite stays hidden away. Now, repeat 3 and create a clone of myself. These 3 cat clones will be created, so we need to do something with them. When I start as a clone, we'll begin by using a goto random position block. Each clone will then appear in a different location. Then point in direction. To get a random direction, we use a pick random with the values -180 to 180. Great. Finally, we have to remember the sprite was originally hidden, so pop in a show block. Cool. Let's just give that a test. Oh, sweet. Each click of the green flag has our 3 cats randomly scattered around the screen, pointing in all sorts of directions. But just to make this a good test, we might as well add some motion too. After the show block, drop in a forever loop. Then we move in steps. Perhaps 3 steps will do. And just to save time, we'll use an if on edge bounce block. Simple. And yet, that does the trick. This will make a great testbed for our health bars. Okay, we want the health bars to be backpackable, right? So click the Paint a New Sprite button, and we'll name this sprite Health Bar. We need some kind of health bar costume to get us started. I'm going for a green fill with no outline. I'm going to draw a rectangle, but first zoom right in, like so. You want to be quite accurate here, so we'll use these grid squares as our guide. Starting at the centre of the canvas, count 5 squares to the left and 1 square up. So we will begin drawing from here. Click and drag a rectangle 10 squares across and 1 square high. Once drawn, your costume should read 40 by 4 pixels. Now using the selection tool, we can drag the rectangle so that it snaps perfectly to the centre of the canvas. There we go. And now with the shape still selected, up the outline width to 4. But I'm going to change the colour to grey. Next step is to copy the shape by clicking the copy button, and then right afterwards click paste. Now we have 2 copies of the same shape. Great. Set the second rectangle's outline back to transparent, and then drag it back till it snaps again to the centre of the canvas over the first rectangle. Whoa, that may have seemed like a bit of overkill to get us to where we are, but I'm just trying to ensure that we can all get this looking beautiful and aligned for the final project. This looks fine. We'll come back to these costumes again later, but this is enough to get us started. So now for the initial coding. Okay, navigate to the coding tab. First, we set up this sprite. When flag clicked. And this is another cloning factory, so hide this sprite. Now let's assume that each cat sprite will clone its own health bar, in which case we can drag in a when I start as clone to trigger for each new health bar we display. First thing we'll need to do then is position the new health bar on top of the cat that's cloning it. Go to cat? Yeah, right, no, this isn't going to work. We have 3 cat sprites and Scratch doesn't let us select which of these 3 we are trying to go to. This is a problem. We will have to find another way of getting the position of the cat sprite that cloned us. Inevitably, this almost always entails using a scratch list in some way or other, as we will need to support passing a number of bits of information between sprites, like the X and Y position of each cat, for example. So let's make this new list, naming it Healths. And this is important, make sure it's created for all sprites. We need this list to be shared between all sprites, so that the health bar can see the values put in the list by another sprite. Now, before we move away from this sprite, it's good practice to always initialize your variables and lists when your project starts. Pop a delete all of healths here under the green flag script. If you don't do this, you may find you get unintended and hard to explain bugs down the line. Ever seen those projects that say, press this green flag twice to play? Yeah, not initializing variables at startup is often the cause. Great. Click back into our cat sprite. We're going to begin by creating those health bar clones. So find some free space and drop in a create clone of block. But rather than cloning ourselves, now we will clone a new health bar sprite. But we want to somehow tell this clone where the cat is on the screen. This information we will simply add to our new list, starting with the X position of this cat. And then we do the same for the Y position. There. Do you see what we are doing? If we click these add blocks to run them, you'll see the X and Y positions get added to this empty list, like so. And this happens before we then create the new health bar clone. That means that the new clone will be able to pick up these values when it gets created. And if we happen to have more than one health bar cloned at once, click the add block again, then we get another set of X and Y positions added to the list. That's perfect. Let's not leave these scripts hanging around. We'll wrap them in a custom block. Make a new block and name it Show Health. Or Show Health Bar if you don't mind it being more verbose. I don't like long lines of code in Scratch, so I'll keep mine shorter. Run without screen refresh. And OK. And we simply attach the define block to our new health bar spawning script down here. Yeah, this is going to work great. Our next decision is where in the cat sprite scripts should we use this new show health block? Well, since it's cloning a new health bar, we might assume it should do so before the main movement forever loop begins. Here? Yeah, we'll run with that idea. Now, each of the 3 cloned cats will spawn its own health bar. But if we click back into the health bar sprite, we now need to use the X and Y positions in the healths list to position each clone. Right, so throw away the old go-to cat. Meh. And we'll replace it with a set X2 and a set Y2 block. The X position is the first item in the healths list. And the Y position the second item. Set Y to item 2 of healths. Okay, that's fine, but if a second health bar sprite is cloned, it will need to read positions 3 and 4, right? Well, it would, except after reading in these 2 items, we are now going to delete them from the list to tidy up. Delete 1 of healths, that is, delete item 1 of healths, and with that item gone, all the other items shift up. So, to delete what was item 2, we actually just delete item 1 again. Job done. So with the new health bar positioned, we should make sure it is shown. Start with a go to front layer to ensure it's displayed in front of everything else, and then show. Wonderful, because that means we are in a good place to give this project a test. Punch that green flag, and let's see what we have made. Okay, first for the positives. We are successfully cloning 1 health bar per cat. And what's more, the health bars do initially appear where each cat spawns. Clicking the green flag over and over shows this to be true. But the problem we face is that the health bars stay where they are, and the cats move off. We need to somehow tie these sprites' positions together. Let's jump back into the cat sprite. So we initially show and thus clone our health bars here. This is after the cat sprite itself is cloned, but before it starts to move around. And therein lies the problem. To keep the health bar tracking around with the cat, we'd need to somehow keep feeding the healths list with the up-to-date positions of each cat. It's a problem because that generally would mean quite a lot of coding to manage creation, linkage, updates and deletion of the list data and their respective clones. But this is supposed to be a simple tutorial, so I have a most interesting alternative. Simply move the health bar block from above the forever loop to be the last block inside the forever loop instead. Now before you scream, "But that will clone loads of health bars!" Don't panic. Run the project. That will create loads of health bars. Wow, funky. The good news here is that the health bars are following the cats. It's just that doing so is at the cost of creating a new clone each time, and, well, all these clones left behind. As soon as a new clone is created, the old one is superfluous and it needs to be deleted. Well, to do that, we need to return to the Health Bar Sprite. So what we are saying is right after the health bar is cloned, we want to delete it again? Well, that's not quite right, because if we run that, you'll see that the clones are deleted so quickly that we never even get to see them on the screen. No, that is too soon. What we need is to wait until Scratch has displayed the clone, and then delete it. This trick you've probably seen before. We just drop in a wait block, but wait for a very suspicious 0 seconds. How will that help? Well, no matter how long you wait for in Scratch, using a wait will always pause long enough for the screen to refresh. Thus, our health bar will appear, before right away being deleted ready for the next frame. Run the project. Oh yeah, baby, now we are rocking! You would never know that these health bars were in fact not moving, but that we are continually cloning new ones. The timing is such that it appears as a perfect single tracking animation. I just love it. We can hide the healths list now. No need to keep that in view. So, with the health bars moving around correctly, we can focus on getting them to function like real health bars, showing different health levels depending on the current health of each sprite. But just before we do that, I just want to add in one more tweak. It doesn't really apply to this 3-cat test game, but sometimes the sprites with health bars might move off the screen. If that happens, we don't want to be displaying this health bar any longer. So, if not touching edge, we are on screen. This is the good case. Then we can do the go to front, show and wait. But if not, then we will drop through and just delete the health bar right away. Just test that it still looks okay. Yep, just the same. Great. So let's check out the health bar costume. At present, we have only one costume and it represents a full health. But as the sprite gets damaged, we will need to show this health bar depleting. Okay, let me step you through how I would draw these costumes. We'll begin by preparing this initial costume. Select the inner green rectangle and then click the copy button. Then right away hit paste and we end up with 2 rectangles. There. We can select the first one again and change its fill colour to black. That's the depleted health colour. Now grab that nice green rectangle and snap it back to the centre of the drawing canvas. It should then fit perfectly over the black one. Right, the first costume is going to represent minimal health. Drag the right-hand edge of the green bar to the left until it covers just one grid square. That looks good, but it would be even better if we coloured it red. Oh yes, that's more like it. So on we go. Duplicate the costume and we'll expand the red rectangle by another grid square. Not only that, but we'll also shift the colour to the right just a bit. The idea is that we'll slowly bring it back across to the green colour when health is full. And we repeat this process, duplicating the costume, stretching across by another grid square, and shifting the colour, over and over. Keep doing this until we approach a full health bar, and the colour should reach fully green. You should find this happens at costume number 10. Splendid, but don't stop there. We actually need one more costume. The costume 11 will be for our fully empty health bar. So just select the green bar and delete it altogether. So why did we add the empty costume to the bottom here? Wouldn't it make more sense to have it at the top so that all the costumes were in order from empty to full? Yeah, we could do that, but one little scratch quirk can make this order work better. We all know that Sprite costumes begin at costume number 1. Well, an empty health bar surely would make more sense at costume 0, don't you think? Well, watch this. If we switch costumes, and I'll just pop in an addition block so that I can use numbers in here. We switch to costume number 1. There we go, the first costume appears. But it just so happens that when you switch costumes to costumes less than 1, Scratch wraps around and starts cycling back from the last costume again. Well, that means costume 0 is actually the last costume in our list of costumes. So, ta-da! By having the empty costume as the last costume, we literally have also got it as costume 0 too. And that will make scripting really nice and easy. Clever trick, right? Okay, return that back to the normal size, and we'll add the switch costume block to the right after we position the health bar, here. We are going to tell this sprite how much health the cat sprite has, and we'll do this in the same way we tell it the position, using the healths list. This will be item 3 of healths. Yeah, another item means we need a third delete block, still only deleting item 1 though. But before we make use of this, we should consider how health bars work. Here is a little weedy enemy. He's got full health. That's fine. But look, here comes a boss, and boy, they have oh so much more health. So do we draw his health like this? Woohoo! Ha! No, of course not. We draw the health bar just the same for both enemies. It's just that the weedy enemies bar will go down a lot faster. So health bars are really health percentage bars. At 100% they are full, and at 0, well, they are empty. We can represent empty as 0 and full as 1. So what does this mean for our change of costume here? It means a health of 1 should display costume number 10, and that's the full health costume. So we just need to multiply item 3 by 10. Of course, if you want to use more or less costume levels for your health sprite, then just adjust this number accordingly. Great. Quickly now, click back into the cat sprite. I am dead excited to get this health working. Okay, the define show health script. We need to add the third item. This will be the cat's health, but we don't yet have a health to set. Well, let's think ahead. Right-click on the define block and choose edit. We want to show the health at a given level, so add a new input named health. But rather than have each cat pass this in as a percentage, we'll simplify this by adding the label of and another input for max. That is, max or total health. And while we are here, let's also add in some more features. The label offset y and an input of y. This will be used to bring the health bar above or below the cat sprite, rather than being splatted right in the middle. Yeah, that was never looking good. So first off, let's sort out the health. We need a divide block. To calculate the sprite's health as a percentage, we simply divide the input health by max health. And that will always give us 1 for full health and 0 for no health. And this y offset input, we're going to just add this to the y position of the sprite, like so. Of course, we now need to fill in the show health block over here with some input values. For starters, we'll assign each cat 10 out of 10 for health, and try an offset upwards of 40 pixels. Right, this is it. Pummel that green flag. Oh yes, so right off we can see that the health bars have moved up above each cat. That's cool, but of course if you want the bar below, then you might just switch to use an offset of say -40 instead. There, yay! Just play around with that until the bar is positioned where you want it. Next, let's try reducing the health by half, to 5 out of 10. Oh yeah, so cool! Oh, 0 out of 10? It's game over for these cats. This is wonderful. We can stuff in any health values here and the health bars update to reflect the cat's health levels. So we are almost there. Let me just show you how we can use this in a game. To begin with, we need a health variable. Make a new variable, health, and it must be for this sprite only so that each cat has its own health level. Then, when the cat is cloned, we set health to, let's say 3, so a cat can take 3 hits max. Then we pass the health variable in as the first input to the show health block, like so, and make sure to change the of to reflect the fact that the max health is now 3. So they start with 3 out of 3 health. To represent the cats getting damaged, when this sprite is clicked, just change health by -1. Shall we give that a test? Oh, you're in for it now, cats. Click you. And again. And again. Haha. Now that worked just as planned. 3 clicks and they are all out of health. I guess it would make sense at this point to delete the clone. Yeah, why not? If health is less than 1, delete this clone. Click, click, click. Click, click, click. Click, click, click. I win. Yay! Well, you get the idea, right? So we have a really cool working health bar system going on here. And the aim was to make this a really easy to backpack sprite so that it could be brought into any game. Well, we're almost there. The only issue is that this show health script is not in the Health Bar Sprite. So if we were to backpack it now, we would be missing an important part of the scripts. Well, no problem. Drag a copy of the define block into the Health Bar Sprite. Now, if you look at the finished Health Bar Sprite, everything is contained and ready for backpacking. And although this show health bar script is not used in this sprite really, it is now easy to drag it out into whichever sprite we need to use it in. To demonstrate what I mean, let's take the health bar, drag it into our backpack, and we'll add the health bars to Lemonoids. Brilliant, we are ready to go. Load up your Lemonoids project. And if you haven't followed that tutorial yet, then no worries, it's only 3 episodes so you could catch up. Otherwise, just strap in and enjoy the ride. Take it all in and try adding these to your own games in a similar fashion. So at present, the player doesn't have health. A bit of an oversight perhaps. We'll have to come back and remedy that in another episode. However, these unfortunate lemons, they do have health. So we'll start there and add health bars to the lemons. Our first job is to open up our backpacks and drag the Health Bar Sprite into the game. Next, we need to take the Define Show Health block and drop it into the Lemon Sprite. Cool. Now, you can drop this script into as many sprites as need health bars. It doesn't have to be just one. Let's click into the Lemon Sprite. Just need to tidy that up a bit. There, that's better. Now we need to locate the main lemon movement scripts. Find with me the When I Start as Clone script. Here it is, a forever loop containing all the movement blocks. So if we scroll down to the bottom, the best place to bring in our show health block would be right here, after all the movement is complete. The health bar is straightforward, as we already have the health variable for this purpose. The max health, that's a little bit more tricky, we don't have one yet. And what's more, different size lemons have different amounts of health. So to get around that, we'll make a new variable, named max health. And of course, it's for this sprite only. We can drop it in on the right of the health of max health. That's right. We just need to be careful to actually set max health, don't we? Just before we do though, let's also set the offset Y to -30, so that the health bar appears below the lemon. Okay, so scroll up to the Define New Enemy script. This is where the lemon clones are being created. We also set the health to 15 right here. So right after that, set max health to match it, 15. Or better still, just use the health variable. Wow, that wasn't so hard. Shall we give it a test? Yay! Look at that! The lemon is looking very tough, and with its own health bar. And shooting it reduces its health nicely. Let's destroy it. And now this is something. Do you see a problem? Each smaller lemon is showing as having very minimal health right away. Now you may like this, but my intention is that their health bars reset back to full. The reason they are showing low is that even the smaller lemons currently have a max health of 15. So where do we split these lemons? Find the define enemy hit script, scroll right down until you see the delete this clone. This is the point where the lemon splits into smaller lemons. Health has already been set to the reduced amount just above, so we can just set max health to the newly assigned health value. Testing again. And now after they split, each lemon's health resets and we have a better representation of lemon health. But perhaps having the health bar on every lemon is a little OTT. Some games like to hide the health bar when the enemy is on full health. Well, we could do that, but I quite like seeing the health bar on all the powerful enemies, so instead find the when I start as a clone script and wrap our show health block in an if block. And we'll only show the health bar on enemies with a max health greater than 1. That is, lemons that need more than one hit to be destroyed. Playtesting again, here we go. And now this is a nice compromise. The larger lemons have health bars and the smaller lemons don't. Brilliant! All that's missing now is to add a health bar under the player too. Do you think you know how to add that? Well, if not, don't worry, because I'll be making the official episode 4 soon enough, and that will surely be a feature. But I do hope you don't stop here. I want to see these health bars in all sorts of other projects. It's just too easy now for you to include them. You'll find a link to the Scratch Studio for this tutorial in the video description, so you simply must submit your games so that I can check them out. That would be amazing. Let me know in the comments how you get along, whether the cunning clone spamming approach is working for you, or if you have any problems, because there's so many ways to go about these things, and I'm quite up to explaining other approaches in the future. But for today, that's all we've got time for. If you've enjoyed the video, smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so as not to miss my next exciting video. Thank you for watching, have a fantastic week ahead, and scratch on, guys!